Hi, this is Jane. In this video, we will talk about conducting an independent samples t-test using Microsoft Excel. Let's get started. If you've watched our video that explains the concept of an independent samples t-test, you may recall that an independent samples t-test helps you figure out when you really do have apples and oranges in your data, where apples and oranges are different groups of people. To get started with this analysis in Microsoft Excel, we must first create a worksheet that contains one column of data for the outcome variable for Group 1, your apples group, and another column that contains data for the outcome variable for Group 2, your oranges group. In this example, we are going to take a look at average overall rating of the festival by gender using two groups for gender, female and male. The overall rating question asked festival attendees, how would you rate today's event overall? Festival goers could choose an answer on a 5-point scale from poor to excellent. Here is the worksheet containing the data we will use to conduct the independent samples t-test. Column A contains the overall rating data for females, and column B contains the overall rating data for males. You will need to have the Data Analysis Tool Pack loaded in Excel. Click on the Data tab, and if you don't see the Data Analysis icon at the top right, you will need to load this tool pack. To add it, go to Tools, click on Excel Add-ins, check Analysis Tool Pack, and click OK. When you restart Excel, you should see the Data Analysis icon within the Data tab. Click on Data Analysis, click on T-Test to Sample Assuming Unequal Variances item and click OK. Click in the Variable 1 Range box and select all of the data in the Overall Rating Female column. Click in the Variable 2 Range box and choose all of the data in the Overall Rating Male column. Next, if you want the output in the same worksheet, click on the Output Range Radio button and choose where in the current worksheet you want the output. If you don't do this, the default is to place the output in a different worksheet. You only need to choose the cell in which you want the output to begin. Click OK. And this is what your output should look like. These are your results. Excel provides the value of t and two p-values, among other things. The t-test uses the average rating for each group and the variation in those ratings to figure out if you have apples and oranges in your data, or if you really just have different kinds of apples. You're most interested in the p-value for a two-tailed test. If the p-value is less than 0.05, then that means you do have differences in your groups, apples and oranges. In more statistical terms, you use the p-value to determine if the mean of the outcome variable is significantly different between the groups in the predictor variable. For this scenario, we can see that our p-value is 5.46 times 10 to the negative 8th, or 0.0000000546. That number is less than 0.05, and so that means that we have a significant difference in the average ratings provided by female and male attendees. Note that the p-value simply tells you if the ratings are different. It doesn't tell you which group gave the higher rating. To figure that out, we have to go back to look at the mean ratings for each group. We see that the mean overall rating for females is 4.44, which we found is significantly higher than the mean overall rating of 4.33 for males. So what now? How do you think about interpreting these results? Remember that these ratings were made on a 5-point scale where 1 was poor and 5 was excellent. Both of our average ratings are above 4.0, and so somewhere between very good and excellent on the scale. When interpreting these kinds of results, you want to think about the kinds of ratings you have overall and the group differences. So for these results, we might say something like, ratings for the festival were quite positive. There was a significant difference in how males and females rated the event. Males rated festivals as very good on average with a rating of 4.33. Female ratings were significantly higher and thus even closer to the top of the scale at 4.44. We used the two-tailed p-value to determine if there was a significant difference in overall ratings between males and females. That is, we were looking for significant differences in either direction, females greater than males or vice versa. Once we found a significant difference, we then went back to the mean for females and the mean for males to determine which was significantly greater. If you want to conduct a one-tail less than test, in this scenario, your alternate hypothesis would state that the mean overall rating for males is significantly less than the mean overall rating for females. You would use the one-tail p-value. If you want to conduct a one-tail greater than test, in this scenario, your alternate hypothesis would state that the mean overall rating for males is significantly greater than the mean overall rating for females. Your p-value would be 1 minus the one-tailed p-value. Determining whether to use the two-tailed p-value, one-tailed p-value, or 1 minus the one-tailed p-value depends on the question you are trying to answer. This is Jane signing off. Good luck and have fun!